Director and co-writer Lindsey Beer works backward in Paramount Plus's Pet Sematary Bloodlines, a humble prequel to 2019's readaptation of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura reportedly wanted to release something that explains the mythology of Pet Sematary. Bloodlines completes that mission, but the result is far from another horror classic. It's less visually engaging and murkier as an expansion of Pet Sematary lore, but is speedy enough to blaze through Ludlow, Maine's cursed history without soaring the experience. Not that being just enough is a ringing endorsement or anything, although horror fans have endured far worse from more popular franchises. Bloodlines explores the toxic lineage of Ludlow's founding families through the perspective of notable local Jud Crandall. Jackson White. We meet a young beefcake Judson, intent on joining the Peace Corps in 1969, but his plans are delayed when his sweetheart Norma, Natalie Allen Lind, gets viciously bitten by an uncharacteristically aggressive dog. Row, with Jud grounded in Ludlow. Bloodlines becomes a movie about draft dodging, 1600s Micmac chieftains warning settlers to vacate their territory, and Jud's inevitable fate. Youngsters take center stage as they fight to escape Ludlow's generational clutches, yet veteran actors like Henry Thomas as Jud's father, Pam Grier as Ludlow's postal worker, and David Duchovny as a grieving father make more substantial impacts. Here is invested in King's world and channels key set pieces from Pet Sematary for some nostalgic gasps. Throughout her origin story, you might chuckle how often foolish townsfolk find themselves nearly splattered by speeding vehicles on Ludlow's infamous main stretch of roadway, but the blaring sound design is nonetheless always good for a jolt. It's the same for tractor trailers zipping down the same pavement, rocketing across the camera's frame to let us know they're always a threat. Bloodlines isn't a horrifically original ode to King, but that doesn't stop a mangy mutt's unflinching gaze or unwell cemetery victims from crawling under our skin. Unfortunately, Bloodlines can feel cheapened by weakly forcing jump scares, that thud or digital gore that doesn't hit as hard since we've seen similar wounds done practically time and time again. Animated renderings of rotten tissue, muscle, and bone are noticeably unexceptional as cemetery corpses decay. There's better aesthetic graveyard dread than outright zombie-adjacent terror. Beer's direction captures haunting burial ground atmospheres as blanketing fog rolls to the rhythmic thump of raw-eyed drums beating their marching tune, but those whiffed scare factors are noticeable. Beer puts more stress on dramatic tension than haunted thrills in Bloodlines, honing in on heartbreak as fathers reincarnate their sons killed during Vietnam deployments. Duchovny's and Thomas' performances especially bear the brunt of Ludlow's devastating secrets without spoiling too much, as they both watch over and use the cemetery to differing results. Beer and co-writer Jeff Buhler acknowledge the weight of ancestral fates as Ludlow protectors choose their burden over freedom, approaching Bloodlines more like a rural tragedy than an inescapable thrill ride. Cramming centuries worth of Ludlow's poisonous effects into 84 minutes muddles the continuity, but Bloodlines is hardly indecipherable, albeit one of those prequels with a canonical ending that struggles to justify the journey to an inevitable conclusion. For every duller choice, like a character dying off camera, only for surviving protagonists to find guts draped over a dead body, there's a more exciting counterpunch. Maybe a shotgun used as an impaler, or Jud's hilarious disregard for his roadster's physical condition. I swear he slam breaks into every scene. Bloodlines doesn't feel exceptionally wasteful of the Pet Sematary franchise, yet meanders around Ludlow as the story wades into shallow waters about townies dreaming of more significant lives, destined to remain shackled to hometowns where legacies either languish or die. The film can be nasty and torturous in the right moments when characters face the reanimated versions of dead companions, but also tedious despite underground tunnel chases and hospital massacres. Dead isn't better here, and Beer conveys stellar ideas through tight direction, but it's not an especially lively take either.